Hello, this video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon and my members on YouTube. Minasan, arigatou gozaimasu. Today is the 5th day of December 2023. My name is Kurt and this is my daily good life meditation. An exercise that I do each and every morning, just a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:44 a.m. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about the last 24 hours and how I handled the various challenges and opportunities that I met. I plan for the coming day, and then I prepare myself to die. But I always like to start with a poem, and I'm sticking with a poem that I really liked. Finally, it took me like 3 passes, but finally dawned on me yesterday, the sense of it all. I should read it again by Edward Thomas, called First Known When Lost. I had never noticed it until 'twas gone, the narrow copse where now the woodman lops the last of the willows with his bill. It was not more than a hedge overgrown, one meadow's breadth away. I passed it day by day. Now the soil is bare as a bone, and black betwixt 2 meadows green, though fresh-cut faggot ends of hazel made some amends, with a gleam as if flowers they had been. Strange it could have hidden so near, and now I see as I look that the small winding brook, a tributary's tributary, rises there. That one gets a mark. How can I ever see any full space now without then imagining it's empty? I'm storing up tricks and techniques and thought plans for when I get to Japan. Not that I'm waiting. I'm doing it now. I'm not waiting. I'm not pressing my life forward into next year, or really 2025 is when I'll be there. I'm not waiting. Yesterday when I was out for my walk with my wife, there was a time that she was lingering back behind with Rudy, and I was forward with Ollie. The dog sometimes draws in slightly different directions, if not at different speeds. And I found myself gazing at the light filtering through the buildings and through some trees. Not a particularly ambitious light, not the light of sunset, but just the light as it was folding and fading and filtering in a way, in a very midday way. Actually, this was Sunday that I did this, during our midday walk. And I thought to myself, you're practicing, Kurt. You're more than practicing, you're doing it now. I'm not waiting for Japan. I'm not postponing. I'm not living in the future. I'm utilizing techniques now that I have, mental techniques, to get them ready so that when I do finally get to Japan, which will be the landscape and land of just, it's like a trip to Disneyland, where the stimulation is, the senses are just full and rich. That's what Japan is to me when I walk through Japan. It's not like that here. It's different. It's more two-dimensional here in Los Angeles. I don't know exactly quite what that is. Maybe it's the age and the depth in Japan that does that. But I'm practicing it now, so that I'll be just doing it. I'll arrive just like I'm doing everything else. All the routines that I have of my life are becoming solidified as the way I want to live them when I'm free. That poem is emblematic of that. Edward Thomas's ability to see an empty space and recognize what's there and wonder how he missed it from the first place, and then to create something poetic out of that. Very beautiful. Okay, let's get on with it. Last night and yesterday, Slept all right last night. Yesterday was a good day. Good solid day of work. I was in meeting after meeting. Very few distractions of any sort. And I really got a lot done. I felt good about that. Man, I'm going to miss that after I retire. That feeling of a good solid day of work. That doesn't mean I can't find it in other ways. Doing this does the same thing, but to a different degree. This is fun and easy. Work is hard and challenging. Not fun until after. I did have an interesting experiment yesterday. I woke up in the morning and decided that my every personal and professional correspondence, my every correspondence, in fact, would be filtered through AI. Lance, my friend on Facebook, saw it, what I was doing very early, called it out, and then I was very open with everybody that I was doing that. And the reaction was immediate and visceral from those that cared to express their feelings, unanimous in being against the idea. People walking away, didn't want to have anything to do with me. If I was going to behave like that, let AI do the talking. And I understand that. So I stopped it. I was particularly struck by one comment before I went to bed from someone who said that they'd been, someone I don't recall hearing much from on Facebook, who said that, as is so often the case, I get these messages from middle 20-something young men, typically, sometimes young women, but usually young men, telling me they found my channel somehow in their mid-teens, and then kind of following ever since. Someone left a message saying that suddenly they feel like that connection was lost. I decided immediately to stop, because the whole thing I do, the reason I do these videos, is it's an outreach of sorts. I sound like my mom when I say that. It's an outreach of sorts. But it is. I have a message. I have a story. Going alone is my story, and the Good Life Creed is my message. And if the insertion of AI between myself and the world dulls that message, then that's not a good thing. It sharpens it in other ways, but clearly that didn't work. The most telling and interesting responses were in private messages, when people would PM me, DM me, whatever it is, and I didn't want them to think, I didn't want to be disingenuous. So I would say, hey, this is AI, Kurt, you're talking to. What's up? Long pause and quiet on the other end. And one message came back and said, I'd much rather talk to the real Kurt. So I immediately switched. It's me, Send a photo. Hi. And so, yeah, I didn't mean it to be an experiment. I genuinely meant to do this in earnest. I was going to try to use this to make my life more efficient. I had no idea. I did not foresee what would happen. I was ignorant of again, to use the word visceral response to having an AI, or at least an aspect of AI, pseudo-AI, responding instead of the real person. The way I described it was to someone on a post was, it's a lot like The Wizard of Oz, the Great Oz, with the AI being the Great Oz, and me, the little man behind the curtain, pulling the switches. The Great Oz is mute without the little man, yet disingenuous and impersonal if the disguise is maintained. Nobody caught on at work, but admittedly I wasn't really talking too much on work. I mean, I was in meetings all day. I think I'll keep it up at work, because for the sake of efficiency, leveraging that efficiency, because the product isn't me at work. The product is whatever I'm outputting, right? So that's also going to have a factor on it too. That's interesting to note as well. Anyway, big day yesterday for that capacity. Carrying on. The Good Life Creed are 8 objectives. 1, to be always ready to die. 2, to make good and effective use of my time. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions. 6, to recognize true limits and true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully. And then 8, to keep my balance. Now, my 35 principles, and just for fun, let's take a tally. I feel like I've been falling down a little bit on this lately. I've been getting hung up. And I don't have a new copy of Going Alone to refer to. This is an old copy. In fact, that's the very first copy ever, because I gave away my last copy. But the new copy should be arriving soon. Here we go, my 35 principles. And by the way, these objectives and principles can all be found in the chapter called The Good Life within my book, Going Alone, available by the link in the description. I recommend the hardbound edition. Here we go. Okay, well, I get all 35. War, reason, homunculus, anchorhold, home of good and evil. Purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, pirate ride, maturity, the social principle, principle of family, public speaking, temperance, life will not go well. The horror show, that which must be born, the home of good and evil, right? That which must be born. Oh my goodness. I think it's home of good. Distraction, agency, and the great indifference. That's 20. The best seat in the house. The restless man. The path of wildness. The great life adventure. The risk of avoiding risk. 25. Sin and damnation. Complete oblivion. The season of philosophy. Oh my gosh. The season of philosophy. Oh my gosh. I've lost it. Best seat in the house? No. I've lost track. I simply can't remember. What's next? That's 28. I know there's a couple more. Okay. The bullseye aim, the script writing, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility. Nothing is enough, the principle of fun, and then being prepared. That's 33, so I missed 2 somehow. Interesting. It's only been like the last, there you go, see, 30, this are faint. I'm running out of ink. And I can't check because I don't have a new copy of the book. All I've got is this old copy that's got only 20 principles in it. Oh well. Okay, it's the best I could do. Real limits and real opportunities, right? Okay, what am I going to do today? It's a Tuesday. Got a solid day of work ahead of me. Another solid day of lots of meetings. Good stuff I can really sink my teeth into. Good, solid work. I love it. So my day is set. Am I prepared to die? My affairs, they're in order. My relationships, they are sound, as can be. My life's work is definitely complete. So yeah, if death comes today, I can go without a single backwards glance. At least that's the spirit I hoped, with which I could hope to engage in that final act. We'll see what happens when the moment actually comes, right? And with that, I'm done. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care. I will move forward and up. I will rarely stop, and I will never